Hello everybody. In this video we are going to learn how to solve polynomial equations. First of all, what is polynomial equations? Actually all the equations are polynomial with different degrees and different number of terms. Whether linear or quadratic, cubic, quadric or higher degrees equations. So let's take a look on the standard form of the polynomials, which is a1 an x to the power n, x to the power n minus 1 plus a n minus 2 x to the power n minus 2 plus until we go down to a1 x, which is here x to the power 1 plus a0 x to the power 0, which is 1 and equals to 0. This is the standard form of the polynomial equation. So n can be any degree. It can be cubic equation. It can be linear equation. It can be cubic, quadratic, quadric, and higher degrees equations. So depending on the number of terms, we can call them binomials, which consist of binary, means two terms, or trinomials, which is three terms, and so on. So the method used to solve the binomial depending on the number of terms and degree. So the simplest and easiest binomials are the polynomials are binomials which can be solved either with factorization or with simply just isolate the variables from constant, and that's it. Let's take some examples. For example, x squared minus 25 equals to 0. In this case, we just add 25 to both sides of the equation in order to isolate x squared, which is equal to 25, and take the square roots for both sides. So x equals the square root of 25, which is minus or plus 5. That's it. This is a binomial, and binomial of degree 2. Can be linear. Binomials can be linear. For example, 2x minus 4 equals to 0. So 2x, add 4 for both sides, equals to 4x dividing by 2 equals to 2. Or it can be quadratic. For example, 2x squared minus 4x equals to 0, where the constancy is 0 here. So there is no need to factorize this term, this expression, so I can just take a common factor from both, which is 2, and x squared minus 4 equals to 0. Let's take this 8. So this is 4 equals to 0. We can factorize this term. It's a full square, so divide by 2 both sides, I have just x squared minus 4 equals to 0, where x equals to minus or plus 2. It can be also cubic root. For example, x cubed minus 8 equals to 0. It can be either factorized in the standard form of full cube. This is a full cube, which is the standard form is x minus, if I have x cubed minus a cubed, then x minus a multiplied with x squared plus ax plus a squared. Where in this case, in the cubic, in full cube, well, when we factorize, we will get this term, which can be only have imaginary or unreal solutions containing I. So if you want just real solutions, you can directly solve it by isolating the variable from the constant, which is 8, and take the root x equals to 2. In cubic, on full cube, if you factorize, you will get unreal or imaginary numbers. If you are seeking to real numbers, what we are going to do is just isolating the variable from the constant. In cubic equations and quadratic equations are the same. In previous lessons, we solved quadratic equations in different methods, several methods actually. The standard form of the equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. We solve it now where b is 0. We solve it where c is 0. And if all the coefficients are not 0, a, b, c, then it's a quadratic equation. And we solve it by factorization. We can write it in as a product of two factors equals to 0, where both factors have x's and constant. Let's name them r and m. They are roots. For r and m, the sum of r and m must equal b, and the product have to equal c. And we solve several problems like this. Let's take an example. For example, x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals to 0, where this one, a is 1, b is 2, and c is 24. We can write it by factorization. It's a product of two factors equals to 0. Both of them have x's, and I need two constants, where the product of them 24 and the sum is 2. 24 is 24 with multiplied with 1, or 12 multiplied with 2, but it doesn't serve here, and 8 multiplied with 3, or 6 multiplied with 4, because the difference of minus 6 plus 4 equals to minus 2, and the product of minus 6 multiplied with 4 equals to minus 24. So in this case, this polynomial roots are minus 4 and 6. And the same for cubic equations and all we are doing now is just isolating and take the roots for both sides, or factorization either for quadratic equations, or sometimes we can do that for cubic equations. For example, this example cubic equation. Solve this equation: x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a binomial or polynomial with 4 terms. From here, from 2 to 4 terms and above or higher, we can use the separation method, isolating the variable from the constant and take roots, or even the simple factorization zero product. So we can use zero product, but after we find roots in common. So here the plus 12 divided by 4 equals to 3, okay, minus 3, and minus 3 divided by 1 equals to minus 3. So I have something here in common. So I can take a factor, a common factor, which is here x squared. If I take x squared out, what left here is x minus 2, 3, minus, if I take minus 4 as a common factor, what left here is x minus 3 equals to 0 for sure. Now I have another common factor, which is x minus 3. I'm trying just to factorization to find it or to write the equation in terms of product of multifactors equals to 0. So x minus 3 is a common factor, x squared minus 4 equals to 0. Now I can factorize this too, so x minus 3 multiplied with x minus 2, x plus 2, all are equal 0. According to zero product property, these three terms are multiplied to each other equals to 0. X minus 3, either x minus 3 equals to 0, then x equals 3, or x minus 2 equals to 0, then x equals to 2, or x plus 2 equals to 0, then x equals minus 2. All of these are the solution of this polynomial. Now, in 4 terms and above, if we can't find a common factor, if the of a c divided by b does not equal to let's go here a divided by d, this factor, then we can't find a common factor and we can't do it by factorization. Then we are going to learn a new method, which is a synthetic division. What is synthetic division? It is for multi-terms or binomials for more than 4 terms and higher degrees. Previously, we saw the standard form of polynomial equations, and solving polynomial equations is solve means find the roots or zeros of the equation, or find the factors where if r is a root, then x minus r is a factor. So finding the roots or factors or zeros or solving the equations are the same terminology. Basically, in synthetic division method, what are we doing is chopping the polynomial. Every time we chop a factor or root of a polynomial, and you're left with a polynomial that is 1 degree simpler, so that we keep simplifying the polynomial until we factorize it to or reach to a term that we can factorize or deal with, so that in this way we can find all the roots of the equation. So the process step by step is first, for solving the polynomial equation, what we are going to do is make sure that it is on the standard form. with 0 on one side and all the variables with constants on the other side, starting from the higher degree and ending with the constant. So first thing, if you are down to linear or quadratic equation, then we can solve them with the previous factorization method or completing square or any method that we have learned previously. Then find a rational factor. First thing we have to evaluate a factor, the first factor, then divide by the factor or the polynomial equation and keep going down. Let's have an example to understand the method. Let's take this example. Solve x to the power 4 minus 2x cubed minus 13x squared plus 14 x minus 24 equals to 0. So in this case we can't factorize it easily or isolate the variable. So in this case we need to use the division, synthetic division method. For sure. First of all, we will take a look on the factors of the constant, which are plus minus 24 plus minus 12 and plus minus 1, which is 1 multiplied with 12, or minus 1 with 12, minus 12 with 1, and so on. And plus or minus 6 plus minus 4 plus minus 2, 3, and 8. So all of these are factors, and we need to just try and error. First, we will start with the simplest one, which is, let's take 1, for example. Let's try 1. How to make sure that 1 is a root of this equation? Then just substitute 1 in this equation. 1 to the power 4 minus 2, 1 to power 3, 13, 1 squared plus 14 multiplied by 1 minus 24. Is it equals to 0? If yes, 1 minus 1 minus 13 plus 14 minus 24 is equal to 0. Minus 13 plus 14 plus, it's not 0. Let's try the other simple root, which is minus 1 to the power 4 minus minus 2 cube minus 13, minus 13, okay, squared plus 14 multiplied minus 1 minus 24 is equal to 0. So all of these terms are 24 minus 24 is equal to 0. Then yeah, the first root is minus 1. So the first factor will be x plus 1. Now let's proceed with that. Now we find the first root and the first factor that we will divide all the equation with. So in synthetic division, what we are going to do is here write all the coefficients for this 1, minus 2, minus 13, 14, and 24. and multiply it with the root that we have found earlier, which is -1. Now take this down. -1 multiplied with 1 equals to -2. Equals to -1, sorry. Now -2 minus 1 equals to -3. -3 multiplied to -1 gives us +3. -13 plus 3 gives us -10, multiplied with -1 gives us 10. Now 14 plus 10, 24. 24 multiplied with -1 equals to -24. And 24 minus 24 gives us 0. It's very important to reach 0 at the bottom. We don't need any remainders here in order to make sure this is a root for this equation, real root. So the new equation will be this factor x plus 1. Why? Because the root is 1. X equals to -1, then the factor will be x plus 1. So, and the equation will be, starting from here, -3x cubed minus 10x squared plus it is x, the first factor is 1x cubed minus 3x squared minus 10x plus 24 equals to 0. Now this term of 4-term polynomial, can we factorize it? 24 divided by 10 does not equal to -3 divided by 1, so we can't do it by factorization method. So we need to again make the division. So let's now divide it by 2. Let's divide the equation by 2. Now 1 minus 3 minus 10, these are the factors, and 24. Okay, now 2 divided multiplied by 1 gives me 2. Minus 3 plus 2 equals 2. Minus 1 multiplied with 2 minus 2. Minus 10 minus 2 equals to minus 12, multiplied with 2 minus 24, and here we go with the 0 at the bottom. So let's take a look on the new equation that we got. This is the factor that we already have from the first division, x plus 1, x minus 2, the factor from here, and the new equation, which is x squared minus x minus 12 equals to 0. Let's see if we can factorize the last term. Now what we got here is x plus 1 after division it was x plus 1 multiplied with x minus 2, the roots that we found from the division, and x squared minus 2x So minus x minus 12 equals to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation, can be easily factorized. X plus 1, x minus 2, with two terms or expressions both have x and constant. The multiplication or the product of the constant is equals to minus 12 and the sum equals to minus 1. It can be 6 multiplied with 2, no, 4 multiplied with minus 4 and plus 3. Now minus 4 plus 3 give me minus 1, and minus 4 multiplied with 3 gives us minus 12. So the roots are x equals to 1 or 2, minus 3 or 4. I hope this session was helpful. See you next time.